Alright, welcome back to the shop. This is tape 12 of the 2025 build season. I did some work off camera the other day. What I did was kind of just finish up the insides of the fuses. Mounted the take apart hardware inside. The thing is, I cut out the fuse formers and I laid in some, if you look, some 007 carbon. This has a tremendous amount of rigidity for almost no weight. So the CA is dry and I just got to cut them back now. Typically a scissor works pretty well. And I've tried up the fuselage a few times and it's pretty good, fit wise. Just want to get it as flush as I can. Alright, so I've done the outboard one off camera. I put the hole in for the horns. I made the horns yesterday, but the bell crank is in, and it's really starting to come together. It's almost like a plane now. What I'm going to do today is I have to make the cutout for the back of the fuse and the takeoff tail. So what we're going to do is make that all in one piece. I have it marked out where the stab is going to go. Should I watch those formers on the plane now so you don't gotta try not to knock them off somewhere in my stuff. Alright. Alright. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it back on a 30-degree angle, back from where the end of the stab is. I'm just thinking through this a little bit here. Hold on. Yeah, right. Yep. Alright, so what I'll do is I will tape this on. Where's my Scotch tape? I tape the ruler in place so that I can get a good mark on it. And like I said, right where the stab ends is where I'm going to cut it. Put it right on my bottom line. And I'll just make sure it's good. Okay. That's one line. Now there's the same thing on the other fuse, but I also have to then know the distance to cut here. That's about 4 5/8. Gotta take a little guesstimation on where it goes through on the fuse and how much it is. And this could be rough. About 1 inch. We'll mark a center line on the stab, trying to help us with this. just going to mark the center lines through. Okay, so you got a center line marked in here, which you need anyway for the stab, for the horn anyway, to set the horn, and also set it side to side and the mounts. All right. Where is my tape measure? All right, just to get a little more precise in the measurement. Right here somewhere, just in front of that first former. 1 inch. Okay. So I'm just going to mark this. And now we're going to just move these lines up to where okay. So about 4.5 inches, roughly. A little more than 4.5. Yeah, about that. Okay, a little more 4.5. Probably right at. Sure. So what I want to do is just line this up. Alright. I'll continue to cut line. I do have a template, which I'm going to get out next, for the actual stab cutout. Alright. I see a lot of cutouts and templates, just you never know. tail cutout. And if you look, there it is. And I use the center line of to line it up, so we're gonna have to extend the center line. Nice new Sharpie with the fine point end on it. I like that better. Okay. Now I take the cutout and I'll lay it right on the center line on both sides. To get my cutout. Okay, and what I'll do is I'll even cut it on the top. To give me the top cutout as well. All right. So there you go, the cutout set. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut across here, cut down here, I'm going to cut down there. But first I want to set up the other side, and what I'll do is match them together to eyeball it, make sure it's good. I do have holes in the back here where the horn goes through, so I have a rod that goes through it for now to kind of just hold it as a placeholder. Alright, so this one's almost set up. Stick some tape on it, again to kind of line it up, hold it in place, because it's just got a weird angle to it. Alright, so we got to extend the center line. Just line it up. All right. So now I put the two halves together, kind of just eyeball it, make sure it makes sense. Okay. I'll put some tape on it to hold it together. Just want to hold the fuse together a little bit. Just a couple pieces of tape will work. Just to kind of hold it. In place. Sometimes I even tack the back together, which I may do that because as you cut it, you don't want to lose the sheet. Let's just look at it. Alright. I think that's what I will do. I think I'll glue it, just glue the tail piece back together back here because there are no formers once you cut it free and it will jump all over the place. So I just got to make sure it's lined up really good on the walls. And I'm not going to glue it all the way through, I'm just going to put it in a couple spots. I just want to check that actually. Uh-oh. Oh, looks like I dropped some CA in here. Which is not a problem. just want to check that measurement off. Nope, just about perfect. Pretty happy with that. That's just about on the money. Just double check. 24 1/4. Okay. I just use that point because I know that point is in the reference of the fuselage. I know that it's square. The nose to the formers to the wing. I know it's square to the trailing edge of the wing. So I choose that. I mean, it's not critical because you're going to set the tail anyway, but I always just want to be close. Alright, so now we're going to just tack glue in the back over here. Got a couple of tacks on the bottom. Just want to make sure everything lines up. Like I said, just a couple minor tacks. Definitely cut it free if I need to. Let me just make sure that top lines up good. Alright, pretty happy with that. Just a couple more tacks. Always be careful you don't glue the fuselage together. I've done that before. And you gotta find out where it's at. Alright. So pretty happy with that now. I got a mark for the top cut. What I will do, if I can find my tape measure. Nope. That's good. And I guess remember in front, there's a former right in front of it, about a 1/4 inch away, which is just about right. Kind of how I planned it. To give you a little bit of room. But just, as you got to put a pin in here, or you got to put a bolt in to be able to pull the tail back in. You'll see when we get to that part. All right. So now I'm cut it apart. Out of fun. And again, really sharp razor helps. Actually, I may use a scalpel blade, and I think that the blade is thinner and it won't cut such a bigger opening. Anything really back here is not super critical anyway. I mean, the stab will be lined up with the wing. Everything else is kind of cosmetic, you know, and it doesn't really add any strength to it. All right. So I use 1.5 reading glasses just for fine work. I found that it just really helps out. It's almost like a good set of magnifying glasses. Allows me to really be able to cut very accurately, or as accurately as you can to the line. Because this is you want to make this cut good, because you don't want to have to put filler in here and try and make this gap up. So this is one of those jobs you got to take your time with. Alright, so we'll get it set up on the stand. cutting cross grain is always a challenge. So what I'll do is I'll score it first, especially since I'm cutting through fiberglass balsa, end grain balsa, hard end grain balsa, and fiberglass again. These cuts, just take your time with them, and the less you push the blade in, the less the opening you get. So I'm here cutting through. Okay, pretty good. And what I do is I save the cross grain cuts, or the with the grain cuts, I should say, for the last, because they are typically the easiest. Okay, one side cut. Switch sides. Just carefully cut through. Don't force it here because you will crack things. Once I cut this piece free, there's no formers back here on the back half, so you gotta be ever so gentle with this. Alright, so I'm getting there. I'm gonna cut down. The type of work that you gotta do when you have patience. Take your time. The neater to cut is only going to help you on later. I have run through these and I'll put filler in, I'll fill it up, I'll just say what a pain. Time consuming. You just take your time here, you're going to save a whole bunch of headache later. Alright, let's cut through pretty well. Alright. Just want to finish up the cut here. Okay. Now onto the hardest cut. I'll say the bottom, because now you got to get the lines to line up. So what I'll do is I will cut one side. Now is not the time to be cheap with blades. It's poor economy sometimes, make it harder on yourself. So these, I'd rather have the sharpest blade, especially through this portion. And you can feel a difference in a sharp blade. Again, these scalpel blades are designed to cut about 12 inches of flesh. So I was talking to the guy in Excel one time, Excel, who makes blades, and he had them. He just recommended using normal number 11 blades. He said these are good for shortcuts. Just make sure I'm cut far enough through where I want to be. It's always hard right up against the edges because there's probably a little extra resin in there. Alright, we're just about through here. Okay. Alright, now on to the somewhat easy part. So we're going to follow the contour of the cutout. Okay. Voila. There you have it. Nice clean edges on it. I will put a couple more tacks in here. Just to kind of really make sure. I got work to do on the back end anyway, to close it up for the rudder fin anyway, so this is all going to get shaved anyway. So I'm not going to go crazy gluing it. But there you go. Now we'll carefully cut out the top pieces. And now we're ready to accept the take apart hardware on the back. Alright, overall pretty good. Alright. Put that to the side for now. Put it somewhere it won't get damaged. I do get one more thing to do here before I forget. Oh, I got it open. Just kind of eyeballing it. The cutout for the lead outs. and just using that looks about right. I'll give myself a little bit more. That's where the bell crank lead outs are going to come through. I got it together, might as well cut it now. This cut not as critical. But you also don't want to be a butcher. Let's see. Leave it for the rest of it on here. Nine times out of 10, I gotta enlarge these holes anyway. I never get them to the right size, but. I always hold on to these pieces because you just never know when you need to stick a piece somewhere. Yeah, these holes are not big enough, but they're big enough for now. They're going to do what I need to do right this second. So. Must be cutting right through a glue joint in the. Alright, so the long tank arm is able to come through. We're gonna have to make them bigger, but that's okay. Yeah, so we'll just have to open them up to the inside, which is fine. We'll just clean them up a little. So, where the bell cranks come through. Alright. So all I got time for right now. Next up will be the stab take apart hardware mounting. So we're going to work on that. Should shoot that a little bit later, hopefully today or tomorrow. And once the rear stab take apart hardware is set up, we can go into aligning this. Installing the motor mount. Start with the wing alignment, tail alignment, get the controls set up, mount the motor mount, glue it all in place on the alignment jig that I use, which you may have seen in the last video, but I'll go through a little bit more. They get a bunch of questions after that. So that's all I got for today. I hope you guys enjoy. If you like it, click the like button, subscribe, tell your friends. Thanks for watching. Thank you.